All right, so the real estate numbers for Toronto and as well as Greater Toronto area, they're not looking good. Active listings are way up, sales activities are all-time low, and if this trend continues, it is a perfect recipe for the prices to go down even further. So in today's video, I'm going to debunk what exactly is going on in Toronto real estate market. So if you get any value out of this content, then please smash the like button and also please do subscribe to the channel. And if you got any questions about real estate, you can book a call with me by clicking on the first link mentioned in the description below. So let's go with the stats together, and I'm going to go on Market Watch, TRREB Market Watch. This is a public information. You can find this information, just Google it, TRREB Market Watch, and you will find this information. And I'm also going to put the link of this chart or this stats in the description below. So let's get started. So first we're going to go towards year over year summary. This data is for all property types in Greater Toronto area, okay? And doing a comparison between 2024 to 2025, if you see the number of sales, they have come down by 23%. That's quite a change. Active listings, they are up by 54%. That's also significant change. So as I said, if this trend continues, number of sales keep decreasing and the active listings go up, then we will see further downward pressure onto the prices. Speaking of active listings, I want to show you one more chart. So let's get over there. So here you can see this is the number of active listings in Greater Toronto area, and this is historical active listings since 2012 to 2025. And if you see, the number of active listings has been the highest in the year of 2025 as compared to rest of the years in the last 10 to 12 years. And if we do same comparison in the city of Toronto, that is Toronto proper, that is we are seeing again the highest number of active listings in the year of 2025 as compared to last 10 to 12 years. So coming back to this data, you can see average days on market, it's taking more time in 2025 as compared to 2024 for the properties to sell. So they're sitting longer in 2025. And I'm going to go through one more data point, is that is sales and average price by major home type. And here you can see 416 data and 905 data for sales, and for average price 416 data is over here and 905 data is over here. 416 is basically Toronto proper, and anything outside of is 905. Basically any suburbs are 905. Okay, so here I'm quickly going to jump onto just on condos real quick. So here you can see in 416 area and 905, the sales have come down by 29% and 31% respectively. That's quite a significant change. And the average price for condos in those areas have also come down by about 7% and 6% respectively. So for condos, I'm going to make a separate video, so stay tuned for that, because that's a whole different animal these days. So stay tuned for that video. So a lot of clients ask me, where are the deals? So I'm going to talk about that first now. First, we need to understand, to find the deals, we need to understand what type of market that specific area or pocket is. To understand that, we need to understand month of inventory. Month of inventory is basically the absorption rate, at the rate the properties are being consumed by the consumer in the market. So if the month of inventory is between 1 to 3 months, then we're in a seller's market. If it's between 4 to 6 months, then we're in a balanced market. If it's beyond 6 months, then we're in a buyer's market. So here's the data showing the month of inventory for different markets. So for Burlington, we are sitting on just shy of 4 month of inventory, but the highest amount of inventory in Greater Toronto area is in Oakville area and as well as Brampton area. So these areas, so if you're looking for a deal, these are the areas I would target. The price point in Oakville is high, I agree with that, but at the same time, the month of supply or the month of inventory is also high. So this means less competition if you're a buyer in this market. For example, on the flip side, in Ajax Whitby, that is on the East End, the month of inventory is less than three months. So here, chances are you might run into multiple offer situations depending on the type of property and as well as the pocket you are targeting. So it depends upon that. And one more thing I want to add is, it's very important to study what's happening in that specific micro market, because in general, the picture looks different, but it's very, very important to understand what's happening in that micro market in which you're targeting the property, because each micro market behaves differently with different property types. All right, so now we're going to become a real estate nerd and going to dig in deep to in the numbers. So this data is just for Greater Toronto areas. So here we are. So in the month of April of 2025, there were 3,300 properties which were sold in GTA area. That is in York, Halton, Peel and Durham region. And out of those properties, majority of the properties were sold were detached properties, that is 51%. And here you can see 14% were condo apartments, and followed by townhouses, which were just shy of 14%. Okay, so now if you're someone who's looking to get into a freehold property or want to buy a freehold properties, I'm going to run those numbers for you and help you understand at what price point where you can find freehold properties. Okay, so I'm going to filter out houses with minimum 3 bedroom. It has to have at least 3 bedroom and up. So I'm going to filter out with that. Here we are. And so let's begin with townhouses. So if you want to find a townhouses in GTA, the most cheapest options are going to be in, or affordable options are going to be in Durham region, then Peel, Halton, and New York. And the majority of the townhouses in the month of April were sold between the price point of 800 to 899, and the second highest category was sold between the price point of 1 million to 1.25 million. And in the month of April, there were 439 townhouses which were sold in whole of GTA area. And if I filter this out with a semi-detached, so here we go. So the maximum amount of semi-detached properties were sold between the price point of 1 million to 1.25 million. That makes sense. And the second highest category was between the price point of $900 to $1 million. That is 76 properties or semi-detached properties were sold in GTA area. And in total, there were 279 semi-detached properties were sold in the month of April. Okay. And if I filter this out with detached properties, here we are. So the maximum amount of detached properties were sold between that basically 1.25 million, and the second highest category is between the price point of 1.25 million to 1.5 million. So that is 302. And in total, there were 1,448 properties or detached properties were sold in the month of April. So as a whole, you can find more affordable freehold options on the east end, that is in Durham region. Here you can find a decent townhouse or a semi-detached for, let's say, high 800s give and take, or low 900s, depending from pocket to pocket. And second option, my opinion, for as a first-time home buyer would be in Halton region. In Halton region, I would target Burlington area. It's a pretty solid community, and you got good school districts, and you can find a decent townhouse or as well as a semi-detached in like low 900s, high 800s to low 900s, but it again depends from micro market to micro market. So I would study the micro market in depth, and if you want more information about micro markets, please feel free to reach out to me. I would be happy to assist. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you trend line of average prices of Greater Toronto area. So here we are. So this is the trend line of average prices in Greater Toronto area, and here you can see in the last 3 years, since the July of 2023, the market has kind of remained flat. It has gone through its ups and downs, but it has more or less remained flat. And in the last 2-3 months as well, we can see slight upward pressure, but to be honest, this data could be skewed because there was so many less number of sales. So there could be few outliers which has pushed the prices up. So what's going to happen in the future? That's $1 million question, but we'll have to see how things pan out. But it really depends on economy, overall state of the economy, the job numbers, and as well as the trade war situation. So we'll have to see how things pan out, but I think more or less the market is going to remain flat for in the near future. That's what I can anticipate, but we'll have to see how things pan out. It depends upon, there's so many variables which come into play, but employment numbers, I would keep an eye out on employment numbers, and as well as the trade war or the tariff situation, what's happening, because once tariffs chaos gets sorted out, we will see more activity in the market. When I say activity, is that the number of sales will increase because there's so many people who are sitting on the sidelines to get into the market. I'm not saying the prices are going to go up, but we'll see more sales activity. But we'll see how things pan out. I hope I was able to give you some value. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.